The rain fell in heavy sheets across the empty highway, drumming against Sarah Mitchell's windshield like 1,000 tiny fingers. Her daughter Emma sat quietly in the back seat, clutching her worn stuffed rabbit, watching the water stream down the windows. Sarah's hands gripped the steering wheel tightly. It had been another long day. Another shift at the diner. Another stack of bills waiting at home. Another night of wondering how she would make it all work. The old car's heater sputtered, barely pushing warm air through the vents. Sarah made a mental note to add it to the growing list of repairs she couldn't afford. But at least the car was running. At least they were moving forward, even if it was just 1 mile at a time. That's when she saw him. An elderly man stood on the side of the road, his suit soaked through, his white hair plastered against his forehead. He held a briefcase in one hand and the other was raised slightly, as if he had been trying to flag someone down but had almost given up hope. Sarah's foot moved toward the brake before her mind could catch up. She had heard all the warnings. Never pick up strangers. Never stop on dark roads. Never put your child at risk. But something in the way the old man stood there, shoulders slumped against the storm, reminded her of her own father. And she couldn't just drive past. She pulled the car to the shoulder, gravel crunching beneath the tires. "Mommy, what are you doing?" Emma asked, her small voice curious but not afraid. "Helping someone, sweetheart," Sarah said softly. She rolled down the window just a crack, rain immediately finding its way inside. "Sir, do you need help?" The old man looked up, and Sarah could see the relief flood his weathered face. His eyes were kind, despite the exhaustion that lined every feature. "My car broke down about a mile back," he said, his voice hoarse. "I've been walking for nearly an hour. I just need to get to town." To a phone. Sarah hesitated for only a moment. Then she unlocked the doors. "Get in. Let me take you home." The old man climbed into the passenger seat, bringing with him the smell of rain and old leather. He set the briefcase carefully at his feet and looked over at Sarah with genuine gratitude. "Thank you," he said simply. "Not many people would stop these days." "Not many people should," Sarah admitted, pulling back onto the road. "But my dad used to say that kindness is worth the risk." They drove in comfortable silence for a while, the rhythm of the windshield wipers filling the space between them. Emma had gone back to looking out the window, humming a soft tune to herself. "I'm Robert Henderson," the old man said finally. "And you've just saved me from a very miserable night." "Sarah Mitchell," she replied. "And this is Emma." "Hello, Emma," Robert said, turning slightly to smile at the little girl. Emma waved shyly. As they approached the lights of town, Robert directed Sarah to a modest house on Elm Street. When she pulled into the driveway, he didn't immediately get out. Instead, he sat there, looking at the briefcase at his feet. "I want to thank you properly," he said. "Would you give me your address? I'd like to send something to express my gratitude." Sarah felt uncomfortable. "That's really not necessary. I'm just glad you're safe." "Please," Robert insisted gently. "It would mean a great deal to me." Against her better judgment, Sarah wrote her address on a scrap of paper from her glove compartment. Robert tucked it carefully into his jacket pocket, thanked her again, and disappeared into his house. The next morning, Sarah was changing into her uniform for work when she heard a knock at the door. Standing on her porch was a young woman in a business suit, holding a folder. "Ms. Mitchell, I'm Jennifer Park, Mr. Henderson's attorney. He asked me to deliver this to you first thing this morning." Sarah's stomach tightened with worry as she opened the folder. Inside was a letter and a check. Her hands trembled as she read. "Dear Sarah, last night, I was on my way home from signing the final papers to sell my company. 40 years of work, all contained in that briefcase you let share space with your daughter's feet. You could have driven past. You could have ignored an old man in the rain. But you didn't. You showed me the kind of kindness that built this country, the kind that seems to be fading away. I have no children of my own. No family to leave my fortune to. But I do have eyes to see a good mother struggling to do right by her child. This check will cover Emma's education, from now through university. Whatever is left, use it to build the life you deserve. You gave me shelter from the storm. Let me give you the same. With deepest gratitude, Robert Henderson." Sarah's knees went weak. The check was for $200,000. That evening, As Sarah tucked Emma into bed, her daughter asked, "Mommy, why are you crying?" Sarah smiled through her tears, kissing her daughter's forehead. "Because sometimes, sweetheart, the rain brings blessings we never expected." Outside, the storm had passed, and the stars were beginning to appear.